Hello, welcome to Guitars for Bars. I'm your host, James. Today, we're going to take a look at one of the worst guitars I've ever had. It is an LTD V-50, which I bought at a pawn shop for, I think it was about 175 bucks. Probably overpaid for it. Okay, number one, it's missing the little toggle switch, not a big deal. Number two, I didn't like how long that second bottom part of the V was, so I cut it down into a more of a Randy Rhoads shape. But I didn't take as much off as on a Jackson or even some of the other copies. So it's a little more symmetrical. I did that so it could stand up. So I could stand it and lean it against stuff on the floor, you know, like against a dresser or an amp or whatever. Okay. Let's go over the problems real quick. Number one, the tuners are absolute junk. They are the typical ESP tuners that you get on these Indonesian guitars, but some are loose, some are tight, and they don't stay in tune. They're horrible. The nut's okay. The neck has a bow kind of through this area. But then the frets down here are all kind of wonky. A couple of them kind of fret out a little bit, so I've got to do some work on that. Another thing is, sorry about all this motion, but it's the only way I can do it. The strap button, as usual, is in the totally wrong place. So it makes neck dive, makes the neck heavy. So I've got several ways to deal with that. One is what I'm going to do for sure, is I'm going to move the strap button from here into the actual plate, probably right around where the P's at. And the other thing is, if I turn it over on its side, you take a look at it, you can see where the end of the fretboard is, which is right here where my finger's at, right where the double dots are. That's the end of the neck. Now, if you trace the line back over this way, you'll see that the neck plate is a good 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch, maybe 5/8 of an inch this way of where the neck ends. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the neck plate this way, probably that much, maybe that much, and then re-drill the holes for those two screws. Re-drill the holes for those two screws. I may put an extra screw in that position there, but I'm going to take off some of this material here around this part of the heel off, so that you've got a little bit better fret access. Okay, now let's go over the other big major malfunction with this guitar, and that is the pickups. Let me move it so it gets some light. I don't have the best setup here for this. Okay, now if you look straight down at the pickups, you'll notice that this screw is not even underneath this string. This screw's lined up okay. Actually, it could still go a little bit this way. It's a little bit to the right. So this hole, number one, is way wonky to the right. And the bottom one, same way. The hole, I guess you could look at like the bridge is off, but if you look at the neck, yeah, the strings are a little bit too far this way toward the low E. That's okay though, because I have a tendency to want to pull that string off the fretboard if it's too close to the edge when I'm playing, and I tend to pull this string down, so it kind of works out all right. Drags the strings that way. So, and if you look at the fretboard in relation to the screws, it's not quite as bad. But the thing is, these pickups are too wide. I think these are Floyd Rose pickups, and they put them in a standard tuning. So, obviously, if you look at the strings too, there's a little bit of a bend going that way. So the bridge is off. It's not centered where it should be, and the pickups are off. So everything is wonky here. So I'm going to leave the bridge where it is. I like the bridge right there. It's fine. The pickups, though, I'm going to slide those over just a little bit. And I'm going to replace them probably with DiMarzio X2Ns with a nice big fat bar magnet so that everything is over the magnet. And that should solve all my problems with that. So, later on today, my bandmates, Frank and Gene, are coming over, and we're going to practice, and we're going to go ahead and record a couple songs on the video for you to hear, a couple of our originals that are like 30 years old. And I'm going to go ahead and play this guitar so you can hear it and see it in action while we're doing that. And then after that, we're going to tear it apart. Okay, this one is Screams in the Night. Gotta remember how to... Okay, that's the second time we've played these songs.